Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing. All right. It's Mark, and we are going to start our next show starting in instantly. Haha. All right. So, yeah, you guys have been hanging around and watching our show for some time, for maybe many years, and but of course, there's always new people. So, if you guys haven't visited before, this show basically covers everything about stop motion, and tonight we're going to actually talk about a few different topics. First off, we have on our website, we have our monthly challenges, and we have how much more time do we have left? I think we have like 3 weeks. But let's check. Okay, so May 13th is the cutoff date. So yeah, basically around 3 weeks left. And of course, the topic is owl, and so it's just kind of a friendly reminder that if you guys have not begun on your challenge, time does go really fast. So if you find that you're working on something and it's taking a long time, you might want to, cut corners and maybe spend less time making your puppets or sets. Maybe try to focus on one particular thing. And with our challenges, what I suggest people do is if you're not particularly good at, let's say, puppet making, for example, and you want to improve on that, try to use the challenges to push yourself and see if you can do a better job than your previous puppets. And Claymara is here, and Claymara is a good example of someone that has been working on our challenges for so many times that the quality of her work, if you watch it over time, is actually getting a lot better. So that's really the goal of the challenges. And Sean Bloom posted some photos, and this is one of his owls that he's working on here. And so it's pretty neat what people are working on. And he also posted this photo, which is from Davey and Goliath. And this is a prime example of Davey and Goliath. There were so many of those films created that I'm sure their deadlines were not very long, and so you can see the quality is not this is not the quality you would see in today's feature films from Leica, but they were trying to get story ideas across and do it in an entertaining way. And so some of the styles that they used, it's obvious they used like moss for leaves and maybe some real sticks, and kind of threw this together to complete their shot. And your work does not have to be perfect for these challenges. So that's one of the things that a lot of people fall into when they make films, is they get this great vision and then they try to do everything perfect. And even I've fallen into that trap myself with my Zombie Pirate Tales film. if you guys have heard about that and watched it, or watched the progress. Things take so long because I'm trying to be too perfect, I think, and that's really, if you're too perfect, you never get stuff done. So keep that in mind for your challenges. So again, that's going to be from started on April 9th, and it's until May 13th. That will be a Wednesday, and we'll talk about all the entries live on the show. So definitely try to do that if you can. And welcome to the show, guys. Welcome, Nick and Mike. Shaky Cow. Nice to see you guys again. So one of the things that I was looking for today, I was looking for some news to talk about. And Claymara says, I'll enter this one as well. That's good. Yeah, even Shaky Cow says, yes, Claymara has been improving at a great rate. Very fun to watch. Yeah, I think the sculpting and animation, all around, I really like Claymara's work. But again, I am a clay. I like clay aesthetically, so, but I think everybody can see that she's really doing great. Now, so I was looking for some news and came across an article that was, this was released on the 22nd. So, yeah, that was released sometime today from Anime News Network. And I personally am not a huge anime fan. I don't follow anime because, of course, it's not that I don't like the art and all behind it, but I don't really follow it, as good as some of this stuff is. And I came across this article, and I thought, I typed in Google, I typed in stop motion news just to see what would pop up. And anime is not really well known in terms of stop motion. Like, it's usually two-dimensional, made in Japan, and the artistic ability that goes into it is really high. It's usually like it's kind of like limited cell animation, right? So when I saw this, I read it. I'm like, what is this? And I saw some graphics, and I don't read. I'm thinking this is, forgive me, I don't know if this is Japanese or Chinese Mandarin. I'm not sure, but I looked at this. I'm like, what is this? They've got some kind of figures, and they've got, it looks like different expressions, right? So anyway, so I watched the video, and I had to actually read the article to figure this out. But let's watch this and see what you guys think. And hopefully it's not too loud. Let me see. Whoop. This is almost 5 minutes long, so it's a bit long, but hang in there. We're running into some weird technical difficulties. I I don't know why that happened. And it seems like my screen is flickering. I noticed that before too. There's been some weirdness going on with playing these videos. Um, but I'll just cut it off there. I mean, you guys kind of get the point, seeing that, you know, what they were doing is they had like replacement faces, and the characters were talking, and they were using like subtitles, right? So, you know, I'm not really sure. I mean, the whole thing was kind of long like that, and there's not any particularly good animation other than, you know, that's about as good as it was. And so I scroll down, and I'm like, oh, okay. So you can see in the photo they have these replacement heads, and evidently there's more than just that, because this guy here, he was actually speaking, so his mouth was opening and closing. Um, and then they have what looks to be like some kind of arms that maybe they're replacement arms as well. And so I read it, and it says, unlike most figures, Banpresto's Cry Heart figures is deliberately, I mean, are deliberately designed to encourage people to create their own stop motion shorts. The figures come with multiple faces, so each one, I guess, I'm gathering, comes with a few, and flexible joints. And so they're kind of like action figures. They're sort of like a cross between action figures and stop motion puppets. So basically the toy industry is catching on with, you know, there's like a trend. And if you notice, a lot of, and we're going to talk about this later, a lot of people are 3D printing stuff, a lot actually, for stop motion. And even though 3D printing is a new technology, people are really using it and embracing it for stop motion. So so I guess they're connecting the dots and seeing, you know, what's being trendy. And so it says, and fans can use them to create animation with smartphone apps or other means. So it doesn't seem like they've bundled it with software or anything like that. It seems like, you know, because there are a lot of free programs now for cell phones. And so Banpresto will release the set featuring Ace on May 14th, while the set featuring Luffy and Whitebeard is slated for May 21st. So, you know, I don't know if you can get these in toy stores. It's definitely anime related. Like, anime is so well known everywhere that it seems like maybe you can find this, you know, I would think in any kind of major outlets, but I don't really know. So it says the first Cry Heart short featuring Chopper premiered in January last year, while the second short featuring Luffy, Ace, and Sabo premiered May last year as well. So let me open this in a new tab and see if they have. Okay, so I'm not really sure if if these are the toys, but it's saying they are talking about it being toys designed to encourage people to create their own stop motion shorts. So let's just check this video out. Oh, please sign in. All right. Not sure why it's asking me to do that. Maybe, let me see if I can open it on YouTube, or can I? I can't. Alright. That's strange. So I am not able to open it for you guys to look at, unfortunately. But, so pretty interesting. I don't know what you guys think. And Nick says, it looks interesting. Not sure I like how limited the animation is. Yeah. I think they're probably pretty limited in range of motion, too. And it doesn't, you know, I don't know how they're making their characters stand, like if they have tie downs or anything. I kind of doubt it. I think that would be too involved for them to do that. But, and Claymara says, I agree, but the quality of the film is pretty good. And Mike says the puppets look great. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know if this is, like I say, going to be in stores. But let me see. So anyway, this is from Iakiro Oda's manga and anime, I guess, cartoon. So let me just click on this and see what happens. Official website is this. Here's their official webpage. New release, perhaps? I'm not really sure how to navigate this site because it's not in English, but let me see what news and release. So obviously that was released today. And yeah, I don't know where you can get those, but it seems pretty neat. But definitely worth looking into. If you guys are interested, check out Ban Presto. Maybe if one of you can find out where to buy these on the internet, these figures, maybe we can talk about that next week. It's brand new news to me, so that's all I know. Okay. I mean, it's kind of a nice idea. You know, especially for people that are maybe teachers in school. I mean, it might be kind of a good thing for students to use that are, you know, not wanting to spend a lot of time building puppets. Okay, so now moving on. So Publi Uka, I found this recently. This here is like a behind the scenes look of this particular project, and this is from Uka on Vimeo, and this was posted about a month ago, and you know, it's not in English, and there's a teaser as well, but we're gonna watch this behind the scenes video and talk about it after we complete it. Hopefully this one will play better than the last one. Let's find out. Uka chaka, uka, uka, uka chaka, uka, uka, uka chaka, uka, uka, uka chaka, uka, uka. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me.
Quieta, aquí quietecita.
So Stop Mo Nick says, in regards to those figurines, he said, if they are selling these, I would like to see an animation demo just to show the range of movement, whether they can stand, etc. That was my concern as well. Like the video that wouldn't play before, for whatever reason it froze up. The whole entire video is really limited, and it almost makes it kind of boring to watch because there's no motion except for jittering and poses and slight moves, you know. It was kind of dramatic, like, you know, of course, with, you know, Japanimation, a lot of the limited cell stuff is mostly, you know, strong poses with little motion, and that's what they sort of emulated in with those figures. So, you know, that's the thing. Unless one of us has, you know, gets a hold of it, I don't really know how much range of motion those would have. But so anyway, so what do you guys think of this? So this was actually kind of a neat idea. You know, somebody arranging the set and putting in a stand-in printout of this character to arrange everything for setting up their camera, and then the puppet comes out and surprises, you know, everybody. I think unless you're a stop motion filmmaker, you probably wouldn't know why this stand-in, you know, character printout is there. But that's the basic idea, you know, when you set up your camera and everything, you put that in there, and you don't have to handle your puppets and you can, you know, set things up if somebody else has that puppet on another set. Um, but the animation is really good, and particularly when the person's hand grabs the puppet when it's trying to run off, I thought was done really well. You know, where it's grabbed and then put down like that is, I think, just really great. Really great, smooth animation, good poses, good follow through. And so let me go here now. Here's the teaser. Let's watch this. This is only about 24 seconds long. So it's a really good design, and this on mute here. You know, the hair is some sort of, you know, maybe yarn or something twisted around some kind of forms and applied to the scalp. And is the clay, I mean, is the face clay, I wonder, or what is this made from? I'm thinking it's clay, but I'm not positive. It does seem like here you can see that there's maybe, it could be replacements of some kind. You know, I'm not sure. But you know, the sewing job and the fabric and everything is nicely done. There's a button there, and uh, you know, I wish there was some sort of synopsis or something that we could read so we know what it's about. But it's a really cool little character. Yeah. So Claymore says that puppet is a cutie, and Stop Mo Nick says great little character. Mike says really cool. I always liked the pixelation stop mo combo. And Nick says the expressions are perfect. Looks like replacement faces to me, he says. Yeah, there's some things that I think it does seem to be some sort of replacements. Particularly here where you can see like a line that looks like this part pops off. And really small eyes. But look at this kind of animation. So the scissors cut this rope, and it falls away. And it seems like they did a similar thing here. They've probably wrapped a piece of wire with some string and then painted it. And what else? Yeah, so nice set, nice lighting. There does seem to be some flicker there, I noticed, but you know, that's not a big deal. And got some little like wooden beams and bricks, and like a burlap sack here, art easel. Yeah, it all works really well together. There's nothing that seems to stick out or look, you know, out of place. All right, so the composition here is really good. Picking up the box. They're actually putting it down because I'm going in reverse. And yeah, this is really nice. And I like the lighting. There seems to be, it seems to be like a studio warehouse or something. Maybe you know, this character paints for a living or something, and is trying to make it as an artist, just like the rest of us. And so Shaky Cow says, kicking the rock while walking at the end was a really nice touch to detail. Yeah. So that's Uka. And if you guys want to find this on Vimeo, you can do so by looking up Uka, U-K-A, and or teaser Uka, and you can find it for yourself. Pretty awesome. Okay, now this is something which for me seems very strange, but you know, I am a man, so you know, nails are not a big thing for me. But yeah, this is something that is actually being done. And again, you know, this is 3D printed. And as I said before, it seems to be trending now with 3D printers and stop motion. People are, I guess, good on computers, but they like the tactile look of stuff like stop motion animation as opposed to, you know, actual clean CG animation. And so I found this and I thought, well, this is different. You know, somebody actually animating nails, right? So it says here, Japanese manicure artist Hatsuki Furutani and film production team plus Ring collaborated to make a stop motion animation that shows fingernails transforming into whimsical scenes and stories. An intensive and lengthy planning involved rendering a film using computerized software first, outlining the ways in which part of the nails would move and evolve. The team printed three-dimensional artificial nails by importing the animated data into a Project 660 Pro full-color 3D printer. So I'm not sure if that's a consumer grade printer. I don't know if you can buy one of those, put it on your desktop and print all these kinds of things, or if that's something that, you know, a company, a rich company would, you know, print stuff for you because of the capabilities, because full color printing is not cheap. So it says here a total of 521 nails were produced by the printer. The thinnest parts measured only 0.56 millimeters. It's a little over a half a millimeter. That's pretty thin. The nails were then attached and replaced to an actual human hand, filmed individually, frame by frame, and created with the use of any computer graphics post-production. Right? So, or wait, oh, okay, without the use of any computer. Yeah, so they're saying basically it was done in stop motion and there's no CG, but that's kind of obvious, right? The continual movement of the nails sees origami birds, fish, and flowers interacting with the colorful printed parts, creating a story that shows the transformation of the body in an unusual and unexpected way. All right. So here's another animated GIF. And yeah, and this is a brand new technology, and you know, to think that this will improve over time, you know, all the imperfections and things, it seems weird to me, but I don't know. So we'll watch the making of part after we watch the film. So let's watch the film first. Weird in a good way, by the way. All right, so life is beautiful because it always is transforming, right? That's the point, maybe? Is that really the point? But pretty interesting. A lot going on there with that. You notice that bird, origami bird, was actually flying through the air, and so they were definitely doing. They were saying they didn't use any kind of what was it again? Created without the use of any computer graphics post-production, but yeah, I don't believe that. They had to edit out some sort of a rig there for sure when that bird was floating through the air. Um, so I understand why they're saying it, because they're saying it's not CG, but it's kind of a half-truth, right? So anyway, let's check out this video. This is behind the scenes. And make sure it's not too loud. Okay. Yeah, all right. So they were using Cinema 4D as a graphics program, and Dragon Frame stop motion, and or Dragon Frame 3 now it's called, and they were using I don't know what, Photoshop or something, I guess. Um, I'm gathering to get those rigs out, and the rig actually looked like something Tetsu made. I wonder if Tetsu was involved in it, but. So let me see here. So Claymara says she likes the fish, and Mike says maybe it was a real flying plastic nail bird. And yeah, that was the rig. And the other thing that's interesting is they were using one of those powder type printers where they layer powder and then, like, I guess hit it with a laser or something and melt it slightly. But the end result is a very brittle print. And they were, if you notice, they were dipping it into crazy glue. And that was what that big sort of container of liquid was some kind of crazy. Let me mute this thing here. 1 second, guys. Go over here. Mute. And let's see if I can mute this one as well. Okay. There we go. All right, but interesting. And I don't know if you guys, you know, how you find that. They also printed like a two-dimensional these images, and part of it was to animate those across the nails. And you know, I don't know the process of that. I'm thinking they use like a graphic file that they wrap around the object as a separate process, and then the 3D printer, I guess the 3D printer can take that and I don't know exactly how they do that, but yeah, that's the most original sort of stop motion I've ever seen. Let's see. This is actually this is on designboom.com, and it's an architecture design type site. And let's see. Okay. So here's our next story that I found. I thought this was kind of cool. This is from petapixel.com. And it says, a life-size mannequin stop motion animated with the help of strangers. And so it says here, artist Anton Hecht recently created an unusual stop motion film using photos of a giant life-size mannequin. Instead of doing the animation themselves, the team invited random strangers who were walking by to help them move the dummy around. And the video above is what resulted from their help under careful direction. It was a good deal harder and more complex. Thank it looks to do. What? It was a good deal harder and more complex. Oh, then it looks to do. Yeah, it's a typo there. Hecht tells Petapixel. So he says that the idea had been brewing in his mind for about 2 years. After finding a mannequin for sale online at a reasonable price recently, the artist decided to actually try the concept. The project was created for an installation at the Aberystwyth Arts Center Gallery, and was an effort that spanned from dawn till dusk on February 3rd, 2015. All right. So let's watch. It's actually kind of a fun one, but now Nick says the 3D printed faces and box trolls had the color printed in, so maybe they are using the same technology, he says. I think so. That would make sense. It's pretty neat technology. Okay, so um, pretty neat, and I don't know where they found that. I guess maybe eBay or something. I'm not really sure where you'd buy one of these kind of mannequins. It's as a kid, I used to have a mannequin sort of like this, but the hands didn't have fingers. It was just like a drawing aid, like you pose the character, and you see them in art shops, but I've never seen one full sized. So pretty cool that somebody actually, created one of these and made it available. And it's kind of a nice collaboration where people who have never animated before got their chance just walking by, So kind of like that. Okay, and then this here is another trailer, and technology is, as I said, as I think like Nick pointed out, there's like all this hybrid stuff going on, right? There's 3D printing mixed with stop motion. Is it stop motion? Is it CG? What is it? And then this here is Mark Osborne. And I guess Mark Osborne was from Canada, perhaps. He created the film called More, which is like this guy who works in a factory, and they create like happy glasses or something, where everything, you put these glasses on, and the world they live in is drab and gray, and you put these glasses on, and it's like rainbows and colors, and it's a really good film, and has a lot of sort of emotion, in it. And so there's this trailer for a film coming out, and it's the Little Prince official French trailer. And before I play it, this film is, again, it's somewhat of a hybrid. It's where they take, stop motion puppets, and they also use CG characters. And I'm not sure of the switch, like how that happens in this version of The Little Prince. I'm sure the story is really complicated and nothing like what Will Vinton did, but it should be, an interesting film if it comes out with maybe either English subtitles if you don't speak French. Maybe it will, I'm not sure. It's always a guess because, so much of the stuff we find is from other countries and other languages. But we're going to watch it, and let's see what we can find. See if here's the part. Let's see if I can get it here. So, like this here, it seems like they were actually animating individual strands. And I don't know if this is randomly.
Léo, viens jouer avec moi. Je ne peux pas jouer avec toi.
Yeah, so here's one of the stop motion puppets, and that would be, I guess, the Little Prince, and you can see, again, is it replacement faces? Is it sculpted replacement faces printed? I think it's sculpted, just because of the texture on there, the way it looks, and there's the clothing is, it looks almost like they use paper or something, or some kind of, I don't know. It's really difficult to tell. Even this grass looks to be like paper of some kind. And that would be really, really hard to animate because paper would just bounce back to wherever it was. But there is a sort of papery texture to everything, which I don't know if that is, well, I'm sure it's intentional. And yeah, it's almost like crinkled paper back here. The Little Prince has a texture that looks like paper, and the fox does. The tree does. Oops, I want to see that again here. See if I can pause it. So yeah, all of this looks similar to me, like some kind of origami slash paper mache kind of sculptural puppets. Yeah, not really sure what all this stuff is. Almost or like a leathery, like I don't know. What do you guys think? And so Nick says some CGI, some stop mo, some 2D. I'll see if there are English subtitles. And Claymora says, I saw Blue Morphu. And Shaky Cow says that was gorgeous. And Mike says, I've been experimenting with paper recently. Let's see here. There aren't all that many stop motion shots in this trailer. But here's another one. So there's like a translucency to his scarf. So it's almost like a tracing / rice paper of some kind. And the grass again all looks like same sort of material. And the fox here, it looks almost like there's an outline around the outside, which I am gathering would be maybe a wire structure underneath there for animation purposes. And maybe even this outline here for his scarf would have a very thin piece of wire glued to it. Claymore says, love foxes too. And Mike is saying, animated it by itself would be a real challenge. Yeah, it would. Keeping it in place, you know, how would they? That would be so hard. Oh, let me go back there. So here is a different sort of lighting scenario where you can see, you know, more of that crinkled paper look to it. And yeah, maybe it is paper mache, but then they would have to sort of animate his hair up here, I would think, like in windy scenes and stuff. So all this has to be animated. And Nick says, wire around the edges of the scarf, it looks like. Yeah, it's my guess. But I really like the way that this looks, like the overall look of it, with the lighting and the texture. And it seems to be, you know, I could be completely wrong, but it looks like this is all in camera to me. Yeah, it really does, but at least I'd like to believe that. Because I like the style. And this here looks like maybe clay, this wall. So clay and paper. But again, you know, I think the paper mache thing might be a thing they were going for here. Let's see. And then I don't know why they have two styles of foxes here. You know, is this, you know, the connection between the two dimensions, the sort of realistic world and the CG world? Like, do these two characters meet, or does one go into that world and come back? So it seems like he catches the fox in this airplane here. So I don't know what that tells you, but yeah, it's a real. I mean, and I wonder also what the thinking was behind like this grass texture here and the paper texture. Were they trying to make it similar or purposely make it different? You know, to have that transitional look, the difference in styles to draw you out of one place. So a lot of questions, but it does look pretty nice. And again, here's more of that papery texture. The way it crinkles is kind of, it's like I would think almost what they've done is they've taken some sort of paper and coated it with something so it will hold its shape. But it seems so like it would be so hard to maneuver the way you want, you know. So anyway, pretty nice. And I guess this probably comes out, when does this come out? Let me see if there's, yeah, it doesn't say anything. So some people on YouTube are making comments that it looks beautiful, and some people are saying they want to learn French. So Pixar class CGI plus Aardman class stop mo equals the ultimate answer to animation. So some interesting comments. All right. So moving on. This is the last thing we're going to talk about tonight, unless anybody out there has anything you'd like me to show of yours to the audience, which we can do. We can probably extend for a little bit longer if needed. But this here is on newsok.com, and it says here, video, Oklahoma filmmakers make stop motion short of Dancing Baby Groot and get James Gunn's praise. So it says, my excellent pals Kyle Roberts, the director of the award-winning indie film The Posthuman Project, and Nathan Pop, entertainment writer for the Oklahoman and Look at OKC editor, have collaborated to create another of their super fun, super heroic stop-motion animated short films. This time they've used their skills and toys to recreate everyone's favorite scene from the blockbuster Guardians of the Galaxy, which I still haven't seen, so hopefully I'll see that one of these days. Baby Groot enthusiastically dancing to the Jackson 5's I Want You Back, while trying to avoid the sharp eye of the knife-sharpening Drax the Destroyer. Oklahoma City musician Denver Duncan Cooley covers I Want You Back in the short. So the stop-motion short is so amazing that Guardian of the Galaxy director James Gunn gave it a shout-out on Twitter, where you really need to be following him, and it's at James Gunn, and praised them on YouTube with the message, haha, I love it, so cool guys. Alright, so that's pretty cool. And here it is, let's watch.
Ooh. Oh, baby, give me one more chance to show you that I love you. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go, baby. Now, since I see you, it is all. I want you back. Yes, I do now. I want you back. Ooh, baby. I want you back. Yeah, 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 yeah. I want you back. Nah, 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 nah. Trying to live without your love was like one long sleepless night. Let me show you, girl, that I know wrong from right. I want you back.
So Mike is telling me that I must watch Guardians post haste. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. So just to kind of go over what I saw here, I noticed that it appears like this background is sketched as a background layer, and then Groot here, this baby Groot character, it seems like the animator chose to like stretch it in some kind of a program. Let me see if I can go back. Where was that? I think it was early on here. Let me see. So if you watch it, you can see like the whole entire chest goes upwards. It's like it's being stretched in Photoshop or something like that. And even his expressions are definitely warped somehow in the graphics program. But it's really subtle, and it definitely, you know, it's a good thing. It looks nice. And I'm not really sure what happens here. It's like Baby Groot goes off and brings a troll in and he cuts it. I guess I had to watch the movie to understand. Maybe because he's trolling him. I don't know. Maybe that's the point or the joke. But anyway, that's kind of neat. And Yeah, so James Gunn. Ah, okay. But anyway, I don't follow him. I don't know much about him other than what I just read. I'm still behind the curve when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy, so I have a lot to learn there. So anyways, we have a few more minutes. If anybody has anything that you would like me to show to the audience, let me know. And so again, just to remind everybody, there are 3 more weeks left to our monthly challenges. So feel free to go ahead and work on that if you haven't already. Also, Sean Bloom is always here during our live shows, and he couldn't make it, and he said, although I won't be attending the live show tonight, I'll still be thinking stop motion thoughts. And he said he found these DVDs at his local library, and he found Wind of the Willows and Davy and Goliath as well. And Wind in the Willows is an awesome series of films if you guys haven't already watched any of those. Really, really cool. I think it's from Cosgrove Hall, if I'm not mistaken. And Clay Mara also posted some stuff as well. So there's actually a lot of stuff on the site that people are posting up lately. It seems to be gaining popularity out of nowhere. I really don't know what happened, but a lot of cool pictures. And yeah, here's Mike. Some of your stuff, Mike, that you're posting is really fun to look at. These joints you created. See if I can open these up for everybody here. So I find this really cool. I'd like to see how that works out for you. Here's this character as well. So really nice creations. I want to see. Let me see here. Is that the only? Let me go back. Yeah. So it's like plywood, perhaps you're using, Mike, and these steel balls and string. Looks like nylon thread, and there's the final joint. And I can see that working pretty good. And you know, I bet if you wet that with water, that wood would expand, and that joint would actually have more tension to it, and you could probably make it hold more weight that way. I know a lot of really old stop motions. People used to use wood. It was pretty common because working with steel is always, it's a lot harder for people to do that. But that's neat. What else is on here? I'm gonna go back. And Mike says it's balsa wood, ball chain, toothpicks, and thread. Cool. Here's one of Clay Mara's photos. Another extremely nice looking painterly clay set. And also JP Silva has been posting some pictures. And this almost has that kind of robot chickeny sort of style to it. If it'll load. Let me do this. There we go. So it's kind of neat in a way, it's like just like model toys, but it works really good in that kind of setting. And I'd like to have that view if I lived in that place. That'd be a nice view. Looks like maybe Colorado or maybe Salt Lake City or something. Not sure where JP Silva lives, but that's really nice. So anyway, guys, I guess that does conclude our show for tonight. Again, check out what's going on the site. A lot of people are uploading videos on here and experiments and ideas and getting really creative. So definitely stop by. And I guess I'll see you all next week. See you all later on.